Hello and welcome back to my channel. This video is about the Zoom LiveTrak L6 Mixer and Recorder. It is for you if you are thinking about getting one. Then you might get an impression what it is and what it is maybe not. So this is the box you get, a very small box. If you buy it, and let's check what is inside. Here left hand there is a power adapter, so it's great that the power adapter is here. It's a USB one, European version here in my case. But, and that's not really nice from Zoom, I must say. The cable A to Z USB is a meter or so. It's very short. So you need a plug-in nearby. So if I have a plug-in on the floor, then this cable might be too short and I need another one. So, well, could be better. So just a moment. Hey, so don't worry. So then you get the mixer inside a bag. Smaller than a sheet of paper. Great. I love that form factor. To be honest, I love this mixer. It is the solution for problems that I had when recording synths. I've bought it because I use various synths at the same time, just on a table. And if I want to connect 4, 5, maybe 6 synths, stereo, I could use my bigger Zoom LiveTrak L6 that I have, but this has only 2 stereo channels. This one has 4 stereo channels and 2 mono channels. You can also use the stereo channels as mono channels. You have here buttons so that just one channel is recorded, I think the left one. So you have quite a few possibilities to connect stereo equipment, better than on other mixers that I know. So this is nice, and there are a few papers and a brief manual, so I think I can put this out of the way now and just talk about the mixer. I will not demonstrate it today, I just want to tell you what I think about it. There are enough videos from Zoom and others who actually use this channel. I just want to give you my first impressions after I use it 3 or 4 times for recording synthesizers and more. Well, as I said, I love this mixer because it is so small. I can put more equipment on the table when I use this mixer, which I can't when I use the big brother, the L12, that I also have. So I can add 1 or 2 more synthesizers in my setup. I just have a table. I don't have a studio or so, just have the table here that you see around, and there is not much space. So if I record a few Behringer synths, mostly, or desktop synthesizers, and there is now space for a MIDI keyboard, for example, or for an additional synthesizer, which I had not when using the big brother. So this is a big advantage for me, and that's the reason why I bought it. But you should know that this this mixer can record on a on an SD card. On an SD card. It has here the SD slot for micro SD. There's a micro SD card inside, not a bigger SD card. There is the USB connector. And there's another USB connector here. No other key lock here. No other things that you that you have on the sides. So you see all other connections now here in the front. Yeah, you can record, that's what I said, but you don't have a display. On the L12 you have a display. Here you don't have a display. That means it's a bit limited what it can do. If you record with this mixer, again synthesizer, sorry. If you record with this mixer, then it always records all channels. All channels are recorded plus the master channel. You can't select just record this or that, just record channel 4 and 5 and the master. You can't select that. You can do that in the L12 or in the L8, but you can't do that here on the L6. Everything, every channel is always recorded. Okay, where's the problem? It's not really a problem. I wouldn't say that this is a problem. You can't make anything wrong because you always have all channels in your recording. And you could put them all into your DAW and rework them, remix, remaster, whatever you want to do. So that's fine. You have everything recorded with just pushing one record button. But even if there is nothing connected, you get a file for the channel that has data inside. It is not zero size. It has the same size than the channel where information is available, is recorded. So you have to check by your own if you want to reduce the space on your hard disk or here on the micro SD card. Then you have to check whether there is a signal, whether there's a sound or not, and then delete those channels that you don't need. And this is not necessary. This working step is not necessary on the L12, for example, because you only record the channels where you push the button that it should be recorded. And there is no work to do checking the channels later and deleting those which does not have any information inside. And you don't see that at the first glance because they are not, as I said, zero data. They have hundreds of kilobytes, megabytes, whatever, what you recorded. And there's no difference in size to those channels where data is recorded, where sound is recorded. And then you can play back only the track that was the last one that has been recorded. You can't switch to the second last track or to a track that you recorded yesterday or whatever. Only the track that has been recorded last time can be played back here for listening with the mixer. This is different, of course, to the mixer with display, where you can select the file that you want to play, where you can select the folder where you want to play, which file do you want to play. No, you always play back, I think, the master channel that you recorded the last time when you recorded something. And when a recording is done and you put again record, a new file is started. A new recording is started. So you can't overwrite your old recording. That's good. You can't do anything wrong. You can't overwrite. But on the other hand, you can't overdub. You cannot say, and this is, I think, a big contra. A pain point in my opinion, but yeah, I knew that before I bought it. I knew that. So I decided anyway, it's a mixer that it's still useful for me. No problem, it's still useful for me, but there is no overdub button. I can't do the same what I could with the L12, where I could say, okay, now I add another instrument to my setup and I record in a second run, for example, a bass guitar. I've recorded some synthesizers and I can't play the synthesizers plus a bass guitar at the same size, at the same moment. So I did this in 2 steps in my DAW-less setup and overdubbed the bass after the synths were recorded. I can't do that here because I can't select the channels that should just play and put an overdub button and add another instrument to the master. I can't do that with this little mixer. So that's, of course, because of the size of this mixer, there is no place for another button. Otherwise, it would have been bigger. And I can live with that, but you should know. Okay. What you can also do here, you have here 4 sound pads. You can transfer wave files to 4 sound pads that you can push, and you have a button here for the volume control. So you can record something that you would like to add to your show. Maybe you make a podcast, so it's possible to use for podcasts, and you can get the applause from such a pad. Or even if you're a musician, you can pre-record something and just push the button and get this added to your sound. So that's nice. I haven't used that so far, but it's a nice function, maybe useful for some people. Okay, you also have in this mixer effects: hall, room, spring, delay, echo, so reverb and delay, and also EQ buttons that you can select to the channels and to the master channel. As far as I know, I haven't read the manual, to be honest. I just used the mixer, but did not use the effects so far. I think they are saved only to the master channel. Maybe not to the single channels. I'm not absolutely sure at the moment. I should have to read that in the manual or check other videos to be sure if. I think they are not recorded to the channels, but I'm not sure if they are mixed in the live in the live sound, maybe to the single channels, but I think they are only for the master channel. You can also save scenes, as you could on the bigger mixers. Here you can save 3 scenes. On the bigger mixers, I think you can save 9 scenes, but it's quite nice. So you can save a setup and your channel setup. So that's quite fine. What else can I say? Yeah, you can put monitors here in this stereo box or headphones, but both at the same time. So you can put the master here to monitor mixes, here the sound to the headphones, the sound of the master. So you don't have a control of the single channels by headphone, what you can do with the bigger sisters of the Zoom. I think that's okay, but you should know that this function is not available here on this little brother. You have a compression button, so you can directly add compression to the master. And what I think is strange, I've made 3 or 4 recordings so far with this mixer. What I think is strange is I had here my volume control, my level control here with these buttons, and I gave volume to the master. But what I heard in my monitors was not the same that I later heard in the master channel in my DAW. And I don't understand that, because I thought the mix here is recorded to the master channel. Maybe effects are added. I didn't use them, so don't think about effects here. But I would expect that what I hear in the master channel, that's the volume control, the level control here of the single channels and stereo channels of the channels, yeah. And I did not hear the same when later checking the file in the DAW. What happened? In fact, I recorded synthesizers plus a vocoder, and the level of the vocoder it was stereo. So one of these channels here was lower in the master than what I heard in the monitors. So this was strange. I could clearly hear my voice from the recorder here in my mix when I made the live recording. I could clearly hear my voice, and I used the control knob to make it louder, so that the level is fine. But when I check the master file in my DAW, it was almost impossible to hear my voice in the final, in the master mix. I don't know why. So just be aware of that you maybe can't use just the master. You made your mix here live. And if you think, okay, that's what you heard in your monitors, in your headphones, when mixing live, is the same that you have in your master file, and you don't need to do any rework, you might be wrong. You might need to do some rework. Almost all files, almost all tracks that I produced with this mixer needed some remix, some remixing, some work after that. I had to load the channel files into my DAW and make a complete new remix, which was of course not exactly the same that I heard in my monitors, what I wanted to have, honestly. But it was strange. It was not the same. I had to remix everything in the DAW, so to make sure that the loudness control is right, so that every instrument can be heard as it should be. So I did not have this problem with the L12. Never. I always had the master channel as I heard it in the mix, as I heard it when playing live, when checking my monitor boxes, when having headphones connected. This is what I had in my file. But the recording here is strange. It's different. I don't know why. Another issue, well, it's not an issue, not really an issue. If you want to connect this to a computer, what you should do when you want to transfer files, and you can also change the setup of the mixer, but if you want to change files, transfer files, don't take the SD card out. It's a micro SD card and put in your computer. You can do that, but you cannot simply add the mixer to your computer. And there's a software made by Zoom that you can download from the page, and then you can easily transfer files. But if you connect your computer here with this USB port, it will not be recognized. You need to use this USB port when connected to a computer. Just for information. That's not a problem, but you should know. Okay, anything else? I don't know, because I'm still a new user of this. This is just my first impression. I hope you found it useful in a way that makes your decision maybe clearer if you want to get one or not. So hope to see you in another video about another topic. Thank you and goodbye.